I asked some of the top full-time producers in their fields for one piece of advice that they could give to smaller producers. Whether your goal is to get into the industry and land placements, grow on YouTube, or make an income off of your music online, by the end of this video, you will walk away with a gem or two, or your money back. Not that you paid for this video. It's completely free, so make sure you drop a like. Get me out of the hood. Let's get into it. My best friend Jacob, Billboard charting producer with placements from Travis Scott, 21 Savage, Bryson Tiller, Russ, not that Russ, the other one, and many more. Also the owner of a plugin company, Sourceware Audio. Jacob, my question is, if you reverted back to square one, no placements, connections, clout, with all the knowledge you have right now, what would be your game plan to get back up there?
So if I could go back and do it all again, it's kind of a two-part answer here. So number one, I think the biggest thing that producers kind of neglect, especially early in their career, is building with an artist. When you look at some of the biggest and greatest producers of all time, Boy Wonder, he has Drake, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Metro Boomin, 21. I think that building with an artist is something, if I could go back in time, I definitely would have explored more. I think being able to say that I was a part of a great artist catalog and be able to really kind of put my touches on it. That's one of the things, sending samples and stuff, like you might send a sample and that's the end of it. You don't have a chance to fix any of the production after that. Other people are involved. And to be honest with you, I've even had records that have come out that I haven't been 100% satisfied. I wish that I was in the studio, but I don't have that one-on-one relationship with the artist. Backwoods is a great example of a producer who's building with an artist, building with Sophie Go, and he actually said this really interesting line the other day. He said that producers basically have 30 different careers, and what he meant by that is that when you need to work with so many different artists, you put out one song here and then you put out another song here. It's like you're always going back to the drawing board. It's like you're starting a new career over and over again to kind of build that connection with the artist and be able to kind of make great music with them. Now the second part to this answer, and I think that this one is really important, if I actually could snap my fingers and go back in time with all the wisdom that I have now, I don't think I'd change anything. I think that my journey, my struggles, the things that I had to go through made me the producer that I am today. And I'm very happy with that. You know, sure, there could have been an easier path, but I think the path that I followed coming from where I came from was the path that I needed to take to be where I am today. Something that all producers should think about is that, like, all of our journeys are different. Our stories are different, where we're from. You know, all of those things make us special and make our production special and make it unique. You know, Pharrell is Pharrell because he came from where he came from, his influences, things of that nature. So, you know, lean into what you might see right now as you know, a deficit, or lean into the harder things. Sometimes getting down into the mud and getting dirty is the best way to move forward in your career. So don't focus on anybody else's path, focus on your journey.
Yes, sir! This nigga's spitting. Damn, nigga!
Ocean, OG production YouTuber with over 450k subs. Who am I kidding? You already know who the hell he is. My question is, before you were able to do YouTube full time, what kept you going? Motivation comes and goes, but what are some habits you formed to develop the discipline to keep going?
Alright, so before I was able to do YouTube full time, what kept me going? I always had in the back of my mind that as long as I was consistent, kept on making YouTube videos, kept on making music, something would happen. Something, whether that's me going down a different path from not necessarily production, maybe it's something else within the music industry. I felt like as long as I kept on moving and kept on being productive and kept on trying to be creative and make music, something would happen. And I don't want to say that it's inevitable necessarily, because you can do hard work, but if you're not doing it, you know, with an idea in mind, you can't just be working for the sake of working and staying busy for no reason. As Alex Hormozi says, it's just time in the game. Sometimes you just need to keep on working, even without seeing the light at the end of the tunnel necessarily, but just keep on working and something will happen. What are some habits you form to develop the discipline to keep going? So there's a few things that I do. I think one of them is just time management. I have X amount of hours in my day after, let's say I sleep, I go to the gym, I'm commuting. So I just time block my time out. So I'm never really wasting time, if that makes sense. I'm not just stuck there doing nothing with that hour. It's usually been allocated to something to get me moving towards my goals that I've set out. I'd say another thing is as well is that I don't really create necessarily when I feel inspired or I feel motivated. As much as I love music, it's also now a job for me. If I want to get placements, for example, if we break it down into like a numbers game, the more beats I make, the more opportunities I give myself to get a placement, or the more opportunity I give myself to send something to an artist who will record on it. At the end of the day, I kind of need to make a certain number of beats, so it's just got to get done. And I'm also, my mindset is also like, just shit has to just get done. It's non-negotiable at the end of the day for me personally. There's a few things I help myself to do to try and get into that, because I'm not gonna lie, it's not every single day I necessarily want to make music. I do things that will help me get into flow state. So for example, I'll take away all distraction. If I start making some beats and they're not that good, I'm not really too harsh on myself. It's kind of just is what it is. I kind of have a mindset as well that there's someone out there who will like my beat, right? Not every beat has to be the ultimate slapper, the best beat that everyone's heard. It's just got to be usable and it's got to be of a certain quality. So as long as I'm able to achieve that, then I'm cool. Let's say I'm making a beat and I'm dragging my feet, I'm not really feeling it. Maybe I'll switch up. Okay, let me just make a loop. Just keep it simple. Trying to make the loop, it's not really happening. Let me just make a layer that sounds good, like a start. Or if I don't feel like making a whole beat, maybe I'll just pull up a loop, make a beat, pull up a loop, make a beat, and then get me into that flow state. And once I get going, it becomes easier. It's usually just at the beginning where I find it a bit difficult, but once you get into flow state, it becomes easier.
Ryan, the mind behind Heat, home of the best beat producer marketing content on the internet. And he's also helping your favorite producers figure out how to make money online too. Trust me. No specific question, just teach these niggas how to make money online. Thank you.
All right, what's up? It's Ryan from Heat, and let's go over how you can make money as a music producer. So the internet is going to be your biggest friend here, and most producers already know about selling beats online or selling sample kits. But there's also another way you can do it with sync licensing, where you get your music placed on TV shows, movies, games, you name it. If you want to learn more about sync licensing, go to Instagram and look up Excalibur0. He does all the sync licensing content for Heat, just so you know. All right, so back to trying to sell beats or sell sample kits online. The first thing everyone says is it saturated, or it's too saturated, it won't work. And I'll agree with you. Selling beats, selling sample kits, literally trying to sell anything online is going to be saturated at the very, very bottom where most people are. You have to understand the minimal required effort to sell a beat or sell a sample kit is to throw a photo over an audio clip and upload it to YouTube. Since that doesn't require a lot of skill to do, almost anybody can do it. So then what's important is you have to get out of that bottom tier of saturation and start working your way up, which is something I'll talk about here soon. But I'm gonna tell you right now, the biggest issue most producers face is that they do not gain enough website traffic. If you're selling beats or selling sample kits and you actually wanna make money from this, you have to treat yourself as an e-commerce business. And what you need to know about that is what's called conversion rate. And a conversion rate just means out of how many 100 visitors that you get to your website, how many people buy. Now, the average conversion rate is between 1 to 3%. Which means that for every 100 visitors you get to your beat store or sample kit store, only 1 or 3 other people will buy. And odds are most producers simply just do not gain enough traffic to their beat store, or they're not doing anything with the traffic they do get to their beat store or their sample kit store. And also producers don't even know how to track how many website visitors they get, so they just operate blindly. And what's important to note is a very small percentage of your social media views will actually go to your website. So just because you get 1,000 views, 10,000 views, it doesn't mean all those people go to your website. It's gonna be a very, very small percentage. So then what do you do about the large percentage of people who aren't gonna buy anything when they go to your website? What you need to have is a lead magnet, which is a free item that they will give you their email for. Now, once you have their email collected, what you're gonna do is send out weekly emails just to engage with them. Now, with these emails, you wanna keep them very much generic looking, because if you design your email too much, people aren't gonna wanna engage with it. But if you make it look like a regular email that you would send to somebody, people are gonna be more responsive and they're gonna actually wanna take action because it seems more genuine of an email. And this all ties into getting out of that bottom tier of saturation. So what's really important then to get out of that bottom tier is you need to learn about a marketing funnel. I highly suggest that you study marketing funnels, because all it is how do I take somebody from not even knowing that I exist to becoming a customer of mine? And the issue is that a lot of producers, all they do is they just post blindly on social media and hope that somehow these views are just gonna magically turn into sales. What they're doing is they're playing the numbers game, and you only win the numbers game by getting a lot of numbers. And so the biggest piece of action advice I would give you after watching this video is you need to learn a marketing funnel and simply just start by seeing how can I take my YouTube views, my social media views, and get people onto my email list. It's just as step one, I would start there. And then go deeper to see how can I take these people from my email list and nurture them into customers. And also, if you have a beat store or a sample kit store already, get Google Analytics installed so you can see just how many visitors you have coming to your website. A lot of producers just get discouraged after 6 months because they're not tracking the metric that matters the most. And while that metric of website visitors may be a harsh reality to you, that is what matters the most. And if you have any more questions after watching this, feel free to hit us up in the DMs on IG at Heat Daily. Peace out.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Literally, I couldn't have actually said it better myself. If you had the attention span to make it to the end of this video, congratulations. You're actually taking your career seriously. Here's a little gift too. One of these codes is gonna get you 30% off any of my kits. One of these codes is gonna get you 50% off any of my kits. And one of these codes is gonna get you 100% off any of my kits. Be quick. They'll only work once. If you guys found any value in this video, don't forget to drop the like. If you don't want to miss my next video, hit the subscribe and the little bell next to it. If you want any of my kits, link in description. If you want to join the Discord community, link in description. Now that you're done watching the video, check this one out next.